Hi, John Marshall, the DrillMaster. I have, so yesterday, I'll have the link below. I did a more of a commentary, not a critique, even though I've got my critique little image up there above me. I did a commentary on the 2016 version of the Silent Drill Platoon performance, and I found a 2012, and I'd like to take you through it. It's a very interesting beginning, and of course this is kind of a nerdy thing for me. I notice and appreciate the changes of each of the drill teams, actually, the service drill teams over the years. Some people think that they have the exact same performance every year, and all they do is replace certain performers because they come to the time to finish their assignment, really, at Marine Barracks Washington or the Air Force Honor Guard or what have you. But anyway, that's not the case. That's not the case. Each of the teams, except for big phasing issues here, so this is now this is pretty late in the season, and there really shouldn't be phasing, honestly. Anyway, so we'll come in, we'll watch this awesome performance. So you can see that as the team enters, they have both of their shoulders or elbows flared out to the side. Now, why is that? Because it makes them look bigger. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, come on. It does. That's the whole purpose behind it. Dancers will pull their shoulders back just a bit and stick their chest out, and it creates a bigger presence. And so for a drill team, you want the bigger presence. Now, they're standing at attention. So attention doesn't mean to pull back your shoulders and arch your back and create a bigger dance presence. Here we go. So the 2016 version started off with pendulum manual, which was created in the 1950s, and here we started off with a version of the meat grinder going into a sort of scatter drill. And if you can't tell, they have blocks of what they formed was a big plus sign, basically, there. And you can tell here that the tempo is consistent, but they sped up just a moment ago with that marked time, and that's on purpose. You can see the ankle travel is their marked time is ankle knee, and the ankle travel is straight up the opposite leg and then straight down. Here we come into a cordon. A cordon is two lines of people facing each other, and honor cordons are used for honoring VIPs, dignitaries. And here we go with another version of the meat grinder. Now, if you've seen any of the other performances, there's usually a freeze moment, and this is a freeze with at almost coming to order with the left hand flared, the rifle flared out. So then we come into a continuation of the scatter drill, and then the single bomb burst. The 2016 version had the double bomb burst. And again, a little bit of an increased tempo there for the mark time just before the turn, and then coming into the long line. And the team has executed several different ways of coming into the long line, which really is, this is a great vantage point. Honestly, centered and elevated is really nice, but also it's great to see the long line here so that we can watch the progression of each of the ripples that they start. So one of the things that's very consistent throughout every performance is the after the formation of the long line, nothing changes. Everything is the same. Now, in this long line, including the inspection, all of that, it's all the same thing. Leading up to it can change, and then also coming out of the long line can change as well, and most often does. You can see a slight variation in technique in the pitch out here. So this is the Marine version of the pitch out where the rifle is angled. There's also a pitch out where the rifle, or the arm is horizontal and then the rifle is vertical. Very difficult to do. Oh my goodness. One of the great moments in the Silent Drill Platoon's performances is the inspector, and all of this is meant to create an anticipation in the audience. You can sometimes hear when the inspector takes that one step beyond and is looking, and it looks like he's deciding, wait a minute, let me see what's going on with this guy here. And so you can actually hear sometimes in the audience they will go, ooh, and that's great. That's a way to keep the audience involved. And what you saw in the 2016 version is, instead of the rifle being brought down, I don't like doing this for this performance, but I will. Instead of the rifle being brought down to there, right there, I'll show you. Instead of it being brought down here, it's held out. and then brought to port so that the chamber can be opened. And so you know that here the team is following actual protocol. Before you hand the weapon to anyone else, you open the bolt and you, or open the chamber, sorry, open the chamber and then make sure that it is clear. Now, some people will, if there's a drop, and every once in a while there's a drop for the teams. Just every once in a while. They practice so much to avoid all of that, to enable a high level of excellence. But just because there's a drop doesn't necessarily mean that that's disrespectful to the weapon. It's unintentional. Sometimes that's also another ooh moment, looking up the barrel and maybe finding something, and then looking back at the Marine and the formation. Shoulder toss is just fantastic way to return the rifle. And so not only the inspector but also the receiver needs to ensure that they know exactly what they're doing. They practice and practice and practice. However, we're human, and that doesn't, just because we practice doesn't necessarily mean we're going to be on point at every single performance. Now, the Marines will practice constantly, pretty much all day, every day, and to have some sort of a mishap is extremely rare, but it does happen. So you just got to keep your head in the game and practice a bunch. Some of the greatest photo opportunities are having the photographer at the other end and then being able to catch just that perfect moment where both rifles are crossing over each other. I've got a couple of those, and it's just an awesome ability of the photographer to be able to catch that moment. Of course, I guess you could record it on video and then take a frame out of that video. I guess we could all do that. always a crowd-pleasing performance. So let's see how they then move from the long line back into platoon formation. Yeah, well-deserved standing ovation. Most definitely. Well done for the team from 2012. Really well done. Ah, interesting. And then the speed up of the mark time. And there they are. Slight mishap there. Something happened. And a fallout instead of a march out. Okay. All right. So if you noticed here, there, at the long line, as they move to separate, you can see that they double their spacing as some of the team members move through. So they have double spacing, creating their three squads, and then they stop, stop, and stop in a ripple. So happening from both ends, which is just great. Really well thought out, honestly. That's just a fantastic performance. Same with 2016, but I love the progression of the over the years, and I'll try and find another one. So this is the first one I did is 2016. This is 2012. I'll see what I can find. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it.